So, Ashley, you've been doing projects for many years now, and you've been on site, you've implemented new systems. What have been your biggest takeaways through doing that process?
Yeah, firstly is the engagement. I think it's so important to talk to the users leading up to that, which we covered earlier, but also while you're on site, making sure when you've handed that person over, moving on to the next person that they can work and they're happy with the solution.
Hmm. And is that what's your favorite part about delivering projects?
I think probably the end, just not from a stress point of view, of course, but just seeing everything align and everyone working efficiently, and seeing I've created this solution, seeing people using it is always a good feeling.
Yeah. My question to you is you're in the business of delivering technical solutions, but ultimately businesses want to be able to add value. So, how does that translate for you?
Yeah. So normally people come to us with a project because they have an issue, and just seeing if we have resolved that issue. That's obviously the clear, you know,
Tick.
tick for success. Yeah. Have we
Hmm.
solved your problem? Yes.
Hmm.
And more often than not, I'd say we absolutely do. Yeah.
And do you find yourself giving advice to these businesses throughout the project and guiding them a little bit more, or do they typically know what they want?
It varies depending on the size of the business, I'd say. Different companies want different things. But yeah, it's very, very collaborative. I think there's a back and forth often. Or we may even, through a natural conversation, I may discuss another technology which, spins up into another project a year down the line.
Which I guess ties back into your point about giving the right advice
Exactly.
to the right client. How did you get started in IT, and how does it compare now to when you first started?
Um, I got started in IT after I left university doing computer science.
Yeah.
I got a help desk job, and that was very restricted. Um, Basically, just password resets. Won't name the company, but yeah, it was a budget hotel line.
Hmm.
Yeah, um, yeah, I wasn't necessarily happy with that because I wasn't really doing anything.
Yeah.
Um, and then I moved on to like a second line role where I was actually fixing things, the occasional implementation. And then after 5 years of doing that, I came here again just because I was restricted more than I wanted to be. I was
Hmm.
here, I was able to spread my wings, and you just sort of given me the keys and said,
Get
good
on
luck.
with
Yeah.
it. Good luck. I think there's been more support than that, perhaps.
Lewis, you're obviously the managing director here at Microbyte now, but historically, you've been a project engineer yourself.
Hmm.
What would you say are the sort of key elements a company needs in order to get a successful project?
So, in my experience, it comes down to communication. The projects that I've been involved in where they've been a success is the clients really feel we understand what we're trying to do for them. And if you can get a project delivered to that spec and beyond, people are happy. People underestimate projects and think that everything can be decided at the beginning, and typically it can't. So, when you are understanding the requirements, as you work your way through the project, you discover more requirements and you have to adapt to that. So, being dynamic throughout the process, communicating back and forth with the stakeholders allows you to make sure the project gets delivered successfully. And although it's not necessarily exactly what it looked like in the beginning, it's likely you'll learn a lot about the business and the process throughout the journey. The things that the owners or the stakeholders think are valuable tend to be right, but they typically underestimate what users actually do on a day to day basis. And when you go down to the front line and talk to those people and understand what they're trying to achieve, actually the project wouldn't have catered for 25% of that. And that's important too, because not only are you going to make them more efficient, if you don't, you're going to have a revolt on your hands because they'll think that the decision makers are out of touch with the people on the front line. And ultimately, that's a sign of a healthy business where you've got collaboration and congruence throughout the teams.
It's a very excellent point.
Ashley, if you were talking about the most important thing about project delivery, what would you say it is?
Um, the first thing that comes to mind is user experience. I think if we've gone home after the project's rolled out and you're left in a worse situation, we've done a bad job.
Mm,
So it needs to be better than what you currently had or previously had. Um, and yeah, I think communication is the key in order to get that back and forth.
mm.
Because if we just dial in on the technical side of things, we leave out the human side of things, and that's probably the most important part.
Well, thank you for sharing your story with us. Been a real pleasure, and I'm really pleased that we've got a nice feedback process for the project delivery here and that you're with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.